guys, thanks for tuning in to the Home Concert Channel. Thanks for watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify. As always, I'm your host, Armando Perez. I'm joined here with Jonathan McKieran, Oscar Jasso, and our producer and editor, Andres Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Federico Arroyo is traveling right now. Shame on him for traveling at this time, but he's in Mexico City, so we wish him the best. Hope he returns safe to us. We're joined here by our third guest. David Castillo, my former boss, also a musician, very talented musician. I've seen him in action. Nice. How are you doing, David?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
How have you been?
Pretty good. Like, what do you mean?
As in with like your musical endeavors. That
musical endeavors. I guess it's been pretty stagnant. I mean, most of the stuff I do is for church. Yeah. So it's just like practicing and playing for that. Other than that, I just play for myself all the time. So.
Yeah. So the last time that me and you got together for ramen, you were telling me that in these times, your church is still trying to make the most of it, still trying to be a church band. Can you talk a little bit about that? What does it entail?
Basically, like just making sure that like every church service, we have worship, like praise songs that people can listen to, sing along to, express their worship with, So in order to keep that going, we have to be able to play the music somehow. So what we're doing is currently having everyone record the parts separately, and then we have a team to put it all together and add it to the video.
Question. So you guys can't get together and do it? Because currently other churches are doing that. They live stream the service while they play. Is that something you guys aren't capable / want to do? Or
we've gone back and forth. I'm not part of the decision-making team. I do know that they've talked about it, but most of what we've been doing is just to keep like everybody as safe as possible. For a couple weeks when churches first started opening up again, we did have a service like with like everyone 6 feet apart, like different households away from each other, and like screens for like the band. So like we're not singing and spitting all over everybody.
Well, what I meant was more because you're saying that you guys record the music and then you guys live stream it, like the service?
No, we even record the message and everything ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
Like everything's recorded ahead of time and stitched together.
Well, I guess my question is, why don't you guys record the music, you guys together? Is it because you guys want to be as safe as possible?
I think it's that, and also like as a time thing. Like everyone can do it on their own time for the most part.
Like you just have like a set date to get your recording,
get your videos in by Wednesday night. Okay,
and
that way, the team can put it together. And if there's any issues, they'll reach back out to you and have you re-record.
What church do you play with?
It's a local community church called San Diego Christian Fellowship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's way easier if we could do it all together.
Really?
Yeah. Like, because the hard thing right now is like
time, like keeping in time.
Yeah, keeping together in time, and also like since it's just the maybe guitar or the keyboard that goes first, like it's kind of hard to understand where the dynamics are going all the time.
What do you mean?
Like for instance, like since I like when I'm playing either bass or guitar or something, I don't hear the drums. Like when the drums are like starting to build up. Like I'm like, oh, we're going hard now. But now I'm all like, this is where like I think they put in the notes, or I assume that would go hard.
Do they write in "go hard" here?
Basically.
I see what you mean. That is tricky. I guess I've never done something like that either. I've definitely played in a live setting. We have, but as far as like us playing individually and then piecing that together, it's tough.
When it comes to that, what would you prefer first? Like the drums to be recorded first or the bass? If you had to do something like, hey, you're going to do guitar and singing, so record your part, would you rather like have the bass or the drums come to you first?
I'd say the bass. I would
bass.
probably say the bass. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And what do you usually get sent to you first?
What I usually get sent to me first depends on the music leader of the week. The music leader our current music leaders all play either guitar or piano. So one of those and vocals, and then we just play off of that.
Really? See, I would have thought the drums create like the bass of the song. They also set the tempo. They do all kinds of stuff.
Keep time.
Yeah, to keep time, to do everything, and you can kind of match to the drum beat.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say with the bass, it's more like, I guess maybe I didn't really understand your question. It was more like, I don't know. When I hear the bass, I can focus a lot better on my singing, you know?
From the bass.
From the bass and the guitar as well. So, just staying in key, you know? I think for the most part.
As a singer, you'd be more comfortable working with a bass line.
Right.
As a, I'm a
guitar.
guitarist, I'm more comfortable, like, a bass is good, but I would prefer a drum.
Exactly.
That's
Like
why
a
I
drum beat.
specifically said like singing and playing guitar. So that's why you're singing. But I feel like for all of us, just keeping time is very difficult.
It's hard.
Even live with everyone there.
Like
What?
yeah, when you were playing like with the keys, like every time it'd be like, wait, no, do it here, and it's like okay, like it's just hard.
I think we tend to underestimate how hard it is, right? We're like, oh yeah, we're just going to play it, and then...
We set our own tempo. Like, we probably play in a tempo that doesn't even exist. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It just
because
fluctuates throughout the song.
yeah, it just changes. Part, like, you know, one part of the song will be one speed and the other part will be the other speed. But since we're all together, we kind of feel it out. You know what I mean? It's like
Our own genre of music. What's the problem? I don't.
I wonder if that's. I bet there's a term for that, like where your tempo shifts mid song,
Bad.
but
I
like
think that's like
strategically,
normal. It's like normal, and like it makes it sound more like natural.
like a real
Like most live songs,
do that.
kind of.
Okay.
Like they're not playing to a metronome.
No. Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like
I
a
never
lot of
noticed it.
professional groups do.
So do you mean live performances, concerts? I understand that. Probably not. Would be my guess.
So
But I don't know.
Here's what I think. I think the drummer probably has a metronome,
And everyone
and
else,
everyone
that
else
makes
doesn't.
sense.
There's I remember when I went to Guitar Center one day to buy like drum stuff. A guy was buying some wristwatches for everyone in the band that keeps time. He was like, "Oh, what are the?"
Oh, it's a pulse. It vibrates, right?
I've seen or heard of those. Yeah,
I've used those too.
So I was like, "That exists."
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, you can sync them. So there's like in
Probably I'll just sing them to your phone or something.
audio electronics, like for music, like MIDI devices have a time clock that you can sync to. So devices that are not, you know, necessarily directly connected will sync to the same thing, so that they'll all pulse. So if you change one, they'll all like speed up. But I didn't know about specifically watches. What I've seen is like that, like our audio device and stuff like that. Like you can send a clock to something else. Watches are cool though. We
Yeah,
should do
he
that.
was buying some. But also, like the last time we played together was a very long time ago, and then we recently just started up again. And it's not like we each practice all the time.
No.
We don't have time for it.
We really don't.
we have lives.
That's why we wanted to do this, where we invite guests and they do the work for us.
nice.
Because
Makes sense.
We like to dress it up as collaborating with other artists, but we're lazy.
that's the truth of the matter.
No, but I mean that's what we're about. You know what I mean? I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before. I know I mentioned it to these guys, but we bring artists on, local musicians. They come on, they perform whatever it is they want to play. Right? That's our goal: is to make people feel as comfortable doing whatever they want to do. Preferably, I think my wish, my dream is to have people come here and do something that they have not done anywhere else, right? So like do you know what songs you're going to be playing?
An exclusive.
Do you have an idea?
I know
you-
one of them I already basically decided.
Okay.
And then I'm still undecided for anything else.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
can you review? Is it okay?
Yeah, sure. Like the one song that I decided I'm like 99% sure gonna do
All right.
is "You Raise Me Up," Josh Groban.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that song. It was my like Filipino Christian side of it. Yeah, it's totally that thing.
We had a worship. I guess, is he a leader? Andres Morales. We had one of our buddies who plays for, it's called La Roca, like the rock in Spanish, but it's not associated with the rock. He plays guitar, and I think he sings sometimes. But so we've had 2 people
Church.
from church.
We're gonna have
We're
more.
gonna have a couple
Yeah.
more. I feel like that's a big thing. San Diego, a lot of
Really?
musicians.
Think so?
Yeah.
I have known nothing about it. I don't know that scene. You
I
know
mean,
what
I think it's just one of the like typical things for like people who grow up as musicians. Like, what outlets are there available to use your talents? Like, all churches need music teams.
And
so.
the most, I would say, I mean, it seems from my perspective, churches would be the most accepting of that.
Yeah.
Like, you can just show up and play. Like, no one's, you know what I mean? They might have selective and, tryouts and stuff like that. And if you're bad, they might cut you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you need volunteers.
Yeah.
So,
You
like,
need-
people who are willing to put in the time for free.
I know, huh? Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I never. But are you saying specific to San Diego? Maybe.
Just people that we know
That's
happen.
Yeah, I mean, one of our hosts on the show, Federico, is,
He used to play,
Yeah.
he's very good.
and his girlfriend was a piano.
She is a
She is.
She is a piano. His girlfriend is a piano. I'm
But-
sorry, Marcel.
Sorry, Marcel. That's funny that you said what did you say? You're Filipino
Christian.
Christian side of it.
Well, so what were you saying when we were prepping for this show? You mentioned something about growing up Filipino and
At least
musical
not for
pressure.
me, because I grew up more Mexican than Filipino. But I feel like a lot of
For those who don't know, Jonathan
Asian-
is both Mexican and Filipino.
half and half.
Wow.
I'm a mutt, but
It's a rarity.
I feel like a lot of Asian people I know, friends, family, they're pressured to learn an instrument or to learn an instrument. Nothing else.
I mean, I think like Filipino culture in general, like music is a big thing. Like karaoke in the Philippines,
yeah.
huge. Like everyone sings. Like I don't think I've met a Filipino who hasn't done any karaoke ever.
Like in their life?
Yeah. Like all Filipinos have experienced karaoke.
Yep.
We were talking about that guy from. We were talking about that the lead singer of Journey.
Yeah.
What's his name? Arnel
Pineda.
Pineda. Yeah, he's.
He's from,
I think I was watching the documentary on him, and he was a homeless man.
Oh, wow.
He was homeless, and
Was he like a busker? Like a street performer? Like different.
no, I think someone heard him sing or something, and that they invited him to play, and he was like, there's a recording of it in a very like, the quality is terrible. It's like 360p or something, and it's he's like at a bar, and there's like 3-4 people there, and he's singing, and then I guess they had tryouts for the new Journey
New Journey.
frontman, and then the guitarist flew out there to see him, and he was like, I think they had like 3 or 4 sessions, because the first session he flew in and they sang like at the studio, and that they were just like, nah, like this isn't what I heard initially, so they said no, and then they were like, all right, let's try one more time, and then he like blew
Showed
them
up.
Basically, what I'm saying, the Filipinos are very talented.
and not just that, but like when a Filipino person does something good, like the whole community gets behind them.
Really?
They're like, yeah, that's
Well,
one of us.
I mean,
That's why Pacquiao is president.
Yeah,
he's a senator.
Yeah.
he could be president probably. If you wanted to.
There was this like thing where people were saying like whenever Pacquiao fights, the crime rates in the Philippines drops to 0.
They were watching games or fights.
Yeah, but that's not a game, dude.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, because you obviously play piano very well. When did you start getting into music?
So I first started playing piano in 2nd grade. It was really young. I remember the first time I started actually, it was like I went to a friend's family's party with like, yeah, my like close relatives or something. And it's a hugely Filipino thing. I don't know if it's similar in Mexican culture where like they're all like, hey, why don't you come perform for all your aunties and uncles and all your friends, right? So like they brought my best friend at the time and his cousin to come and play the piano for everybody, right? And I was watching, and like
just play.
yeah, they're like, oh, play a song, like yeah. So they just played, and like all the aunties and uncles are like, wow, they're so talented, like wow, you know.
I feel like it. I mean, I don't know how it is in all Mexican cultures, but I feel like that it's not as supportive. It's kind of more like
It's probably not as prevalent, but I have seen it.
that
Yeah.
where they kind of get behind
Yeah. I have seen it. Well, specifically with families that have like
actual talent.
deep roots in music, you know.
Yeah. I see that.
I mean, I think it's also like it's mostly the like show off your kids, you know.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Like,
For
come
sure.
sing
That's
for
most
them,
of it.
come play something. Anyways, so, I mean, I didn't have any musical background at the time, but I was watching and I was like, I could do that, you know?
At second
In
grade.
second grade.
Yeah. No. I was pretty crazy. But anyway, so like,
Wait.
Not crazy at all.
Crazy in what way? In second grade, tell me.
I mean, I think most of my early life I've been like full of myself
You still are. No.
in a way.
An ego addict, dude.
But anyways, so I told my friend like, hey, can you really quick, like do that again? Show me it really quick.
And then you got on the piano like perfectly
And I
recreated it.
recreated it. Yeah.
Wow.
And then my parents saw it, and like the same weekend, we went down and bought a piano.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
So it's not that you weren't really pressured into it. You like did it, and then they saw that you had a talent for it, and then they're like, hey.
I don't know. After that, I was definitely pressured.
By parents?
Yeah. I mean, I remember one time, my mom was trying to get me to play something, and like I just couldn't do it, and I was losing focus, and I was like crying, but she's like, no, you can, like practice until you can get it. And
Even after you started crying?
yeah, I think so.
Like, damn, you're not going to eat, David. Sorry.
Yeah, that was
You
like,
got to play this note for note.
I think that was like my one memory of my mom forcing me to practice. I don't think she like did it much after that. Maybe like it just gave her bad feelings, so she stopped doing it. But I do remember that happened.
So that's second grade. Did you play in like because we were talking about this 2 podcasts ago that we did elementary like band, or we learned in elementary. Andres did middle school band, and then high school we didn't really, we each did our own thing. But did you do anything in elementary, middle, or high school?
Yeah. So piano I played on and off for the longest time. But in 5th grade, one of my close friends convinced me to pick up violin with them.
Oh.
So I played in
Wow.
elementary school orchestra in 5th grade, and then all through middle school and high school.
Violin seems very
Violin?
hard. Like, difficult.
I do think violin is like one of the hardest instruments
I
I've ever
agree.
played or learned. There's just like so much that can go wrong. And like, it's also the worst sounding for a beginner. Like,
When you're not good.
when you're not good, it like screeches
that.
in your ear. It's like
Oh,
disgusting.
man. How do you even...
To have a perfect intonation.
I mean, I think the hardest part for beginners playing violin is to keep a consistent sound.
Like loudness?
Because
Pressure with the bow.
yeah, the pressure with the bow, exactly. Because you have to keep a like consistent pressure for the sound to like, keep going. Otherwise, like
Yeah.
it'll either break up or it'll screech.
It's kind of like singing. Like, if you don't take a good breath, you start to like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, your voice starts to break.
Yeah, like the hissing exercise. Like
What is
for
that?
tires. Like you take a deep breath and you're like,
For as long as you can?
and you keep it at the same pressure.
The goal is like to stay constant, right?
Yeah, to stay constant
Sounds like
for
static.
like it's basically like yeah,
Is this an
Controlling
exercise
your-
for singing?
yeah.
Do it again?
Like I mean, I'm not gonna do it for like
No,
30
do it.
seconds.
No, no, no.
Like,
Well-
you take like a deep breath.
Saw that it changed. If you're listening right now, if you're listening,
I bet you could do that
So-
for like a solid minute and a
So
half.
like
pretty long.
yeah, like I mean, it's not supposed to like suddenly blow more air or less air. It's supposed to stay consistent like till the end of the note.
Of your life. Wow. What other singing exercises did you take classes for singing?
I took a couple vocal classes just because in like community college.
Wow.
And then there's just a couple things that like different churches I went to like offered, like as like this is not a camp, but what's it called again?
Camp.
No. Not a conference. Workshops. Yeah, there you go. They had different workshops and like vocals. I might as well. Yeah. So.
What else did they teach you?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like I remember one of the things that helped a lot too was like vocal exercises is definitely important. I mean, I don't do it that often just because I don't care that much. But like when we were like trying to be more serious, like we would get a group of exercises like recorded and then just play it in the car and then warm up with it before performing.
We never did that.
Yeah,
No,
we
didn't do
never
anything.
went that.
We're super like, I mean, I would say for nothing, like vocals, guitar, bass, drums.
We would do
never
like a
did any.
warm-up song,
Yeah.
if anything. But
But it was more for sound.
For sound,
like
right.
sound
Sound
check.
check.
Like, oh, this is too loud, turn this down. Like, we did it. We didn't do it for the wedding, I think. That one we just.
we did La Flaca.
No, we did it at the bridal shower. But
Oh, the wedding.
Did
Yeah,
we do
we
it for
didn't
the
do it at the wedding.
You
What,
can't
the
do
bridal
that at the
shower we
wedding.
did.
Yeah, bridal shower we did. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like, I mean, I don't really do warm ups that much, but I do notice the difference, like especially with certain songs vocally, like where I have to like push the edge of my range. Like if I don't warm up ahead of time, then I like can't hit the higher notes consistently.
Oh. Now I was recalling that because you're talking about you singing. Do you guys remember? I think it was Christmas time ish. We had like a
I'll
party,
never forget
a
it.
little get together, and you and our friend Anna, they
Shout out
sang
to
that
Anna.
song. What song was it?
Baby, it's cold outside.
No, was it that one?
Oh my
I think
gosh,
so,
that was
yeah.
a long time ago.
Exactly, but I remember.
Did they do a Disney
Like-
song?
No, it sounded
You-
like a Disney song. That's what we were saying, but it was just
I really can't stay.
Yeah, I
No,
think
that
it's
song, yeah.
Just felt like a cozy warm blanket.
Yeah.
I remember everybody stopped in their track. We were all, drinking, having a good time. And then we heard that come on. And we were like, shh, listen. It sounded amazing.
It was beautiful.
Come on.
Nice.
Do a little bit. I'll be
More
the girl.
time.
Nah, no, not right now. I'll record the song later.
Yeah,
You'll hear
please.
it.
Oh, let's do that. Do
Well, not that song.
No, do it, please.
No, Dave, you heard it here. Home Concert Channel, David Castillo is going to be doing.
But let's talk about how we all met David.
I want to hear your side.
Yeah,
of
your
how-
version.
My
How you
side
met
of how I
us.
met
Before
everybody.
we start to.
Okay, so in this group of people, the first person I met was Oscar. It was like July 1st, 2013.
Yep.
Wow,
Remember the
that's very
exact
The only,
date.
so the only
Yeah,
reason
why
I
do you know
know is because
No, July 2nd. It was July 2nd.
something
Wrong,
like that.
you're wrong.
Fine, July 2nd. Close enough. My bad. I forgot our anniversary.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
How dare you?
basically we both started working at Garage Door Medics same time.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I started. That's why I said July 1st. Because
Yeah,
I started
you
the day before
July
you.
1st. I started
You started the
July
day. Yeah.
2nd. Yeah. Well, we met July 2nd.
Okay.
We met July 2nd.
We did meet July 2nd though.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So before you start, GDM or Garage Door Medics is a company here in San Diego owned by Mick Dapsevic. Shout out to Mick. Just added me on Facebook.
Nice.
Me too.
Yeah, nice guy. I always liked Mick. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So working for that company, both of us started there, and we were both basically doing the same thing, and just filling in because like they had no employees at the time.
basically, yeah.
It was just us.
How
They
small were they?
I think it was our manager, then Floor, and then me, Oscar, and then there was one person there who was like gone the next week.
Super flaky, dude. Super
Damn.
flaky. They gave him so many chances too.
Did they get hired? Did he get hired the same time you did?
No. He was there for a few months, probably.
He was
already,
on and
maybe
off for a while, I think.
For a while, yeah.
On and off. like a relationship with his job.
Yeah, he would just disappear, dude. Like,
He'd go out to lunch and just
So
not come back.
yeah, like wouldn't say anything.
They gave him chances after that.
I mean,
I
were
I understand. You
kind
know,
of desperate at the
yeah,
time.
I get that.
I mean, to hire me, dude. Pretty desperate.
Well, you had the family hookup too, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Flora was there
You're a
already for
smart
how
man.
long? Flora is Oscar's aunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aunt's sister. Aunt's sister.
Aunt sister.
I call her my sister. She was already there. She'd been there probably 4 or 5 years already.
Before you got there.
Yep.
That's a good.
So she's been there for like
About
12, 13
about
years?
11 years already. Yeah.
Oh my
Damn.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's dedicated.
Dedicated, man. There's employees there that have been there for a while. You know?
You.
Mark, Christopher, me.
Yeah, you.
Dude,
Six-
Mark has been there since he was like our age.
Yeah, yeah,
The
Mark
beginning of
Christopher?
time.
yeah.
He was always really nice to me. I like Mark.
Yeah, I love him too.
It's cool. Who else? The accountant. The accountant's been there or working with him for quite a while now, on and off.
The accountant?
Yeah. Accountant Pam.
Oh, Pat. Yeah,
She's
yeah, yeah,
outside.
yeah. I met her.
Beasley.
Is she
Pam Beasley.
full time now, or is she still outside consultant? Or
Outside consultant, yeah.
But how did you guys initially
Yeah.
start talking? You and Oscar. Was it basically just like, hey, did you do this? And you're like, no.
I mean, I'm sure it's like,
Like, no, get away.
like I'm sure it's mostly just like helping each other out at work and like
Yeah.
figuring things out, since we didn't really have anyone to teach us what to do.
Yeah, mostly Fleur was teaching us most of it, and then David was teaching me, or he did teach me a lot of the accounting stuff. You know, I did come to him for a lot of questions, so that's kind of how we started building a relationship there at work.
You know, there's not one thing that sticks out to you from that early time that's like, okay, this is when
When you guys became close lovers?
you started developing feelings for each other.
Not really. I can't think of anything. I mean, we were just like the only two guys there for the longest time. Like,
Oh, it was all women?
I mean, other
Wow,
than the-
GDM, Progressive San Diego company, dude.
Yeah.
they like their women.
Does that even mean?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm sure.
Damn, 2013.
That was a long time
What were
ago.
we doing in
That was a whole lifetime
We were
ago.
in-
You guys were still in high
like
school,
ninth
dude.
grade, 10th grade, yeah.
You guys are still in high school.
Oh, dude, you guys are still kids.
And then you and I met because, I mean, I started working there too, 2016, August of 2016. But I don't remember how we talked. I said the story of how we first initially talked. We drove to the warehouse for like inventory or something, and we talked there. But I don't remember how we became like friends.
I'm not that memorable, I guess.
No, but like,
It's because you're very nice right away.
and that's, yeah.
And Oscar wasn't. No, it was like
Yeah, I was a jerk.
It's like breaking through like the wall you put up, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
it was kind of like, oh, this is some guy. But David was always like, hey, how you doing? I'm David. Very friendly right away, though.
Yeah.
I will
Very
know-
approachable, dude.
Yes, that's the
It's
word.
pretty
I'm
much
looking
just
for.
asking you. I think me asking you for
Help.
help. Like, hey man, I didn't know how to do this, and you'd be like, oh, just do like this. And then initially we just like, you know,
You always felt very proud to show rather than, oh, you idiot, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? It was very
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, let me show you. And then you can do it. From then on, like, you may have had that demeanor if I've come to you with like the same thing, you know, like 3 or 4 times, which I know I have done. But yeah, at GDM, when I brought in, this guy told me about an opening. I was at Walmart at the time, working part-time at Walmart. And then I took the job at GDM the same time that I was still working at Walmart. And then I quit Walmart. And that job was for like only a month. So I just kind of like, was like, I'll go in here.
put in all your chips.
But yeah, I basically went all in. I was like, yeah. And then I remember like just saying like, can I please stay? And then they kept me on, and you became my boss after that.
Yeah.
His boss too.
I will say that I played a part in getting you on full time.
Really? I don't think you've ever told me.
Yeah. Like,
Did somebody, who asked you, if somebody did ask you?
I know, I just know that one of the things that happened was I did tell Mick, like,
I like this
like,
kid.
like value wise,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like work divided by pay.
Exactly. Like the amount of work and like
For how
good
little
work we can get out of Armando.
I
Is
know.
legit.
Dude,
Those are the valuable employees. Dude. It's like,
one of the things we always say is like, yo, businesses should hire like either college kids or kids who are going to school because they do not know their worth for the amount of work that they do. They have no idea. Like, oh, I'm just happy to be getting paid.
I'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
They're like,
and
see
they'll
their
do it
paycheck,
good.
like, what?
They'll do a good job and they'll care about it because they're scared of the chopping block. You know what I mean?
I think I was talking about that with Eric recently. That like, I have almost like anxiety of like, if I do this wrong, it's like it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people make mistakes all the time. They're like, it's okay. But even when like if I make a mistake, I'm like, hey man, I'm really sorry I did this, and they're just like, oh, who cares? And I'm just like, well, what? Okay. But being like, I guess when you're younger and you start a job, it's like you can't mess up. It's like your one chance because they took a
Prove
chance
yourself.
on you because you have no experience. My resume was like high school ASB.
ASB vice president.
Right? What did you have?
I don't have shit.
What was on your
That was
resume?
ASB, which is everyone says to put on your resume. I had sales
I
clerk.
Walmart. But even the Walmart, my
Walmart for
uncle
1 month?
worked there. No, I was at Walmart for like almost
year,
2
not
years.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
About a year and 10 months. But what you're saying, it's funny because I have that too. I call it I've told other people that I work with it's a healthy dose of doubt. You're always just constantly doubting yourself. And that's why you're always like, okay, I need to check, or I need to do this, or I need to like be careful, because if you didn't doubt yourself and you were confident and you did it and something actually ends up wrong, you could get fired.
I have a horrible memory to where like I'll be assigned something the same day and I'm like, all right, and I do it, and the next day I'm just like, oh god, I forgot to do it, and I'm like, oh, I did it yesterday. It's just, but that's like I guess that's why they kept us on board.
Yeah, both of us. You too. I mean, all you guys probably. I imagine both of you feel similarly because you've been there
Cheap
for so
labor.
long.
Yeah.
I bet you're hitting your stride now, huh? Now you're like,
I mean,
Oscar's the boss now.
Oscar's that you're.
He's the most senior.
Yeah, that's true.
one of the most senior, I'd say.
Who's
Yeah.
above you, Flora and Pam?
Floor,
And God.
and AKA Mick.
The founder of the company.
Yeah.
What about you? How does it like? 'Cause
You're-
you recently got
you're-
something,
Yeah, you did.
but you never really held like a sales clerk job or anything, huh? You kind of just waited.
Sales clerk?
Yeah, kind of like we heated Walmart. I did the Navy base. Did you do anything like that?
Retail?
Like, retail?
No, GDM was your first
GDM.
job.
GDM was your first job.
I got hired at GDM
17, right?
2 months after I graduated high school.
That's a good gig to get out.
Yeah.
But right, you haven't.
I mean, just Pizza Hut for like.
No,
a
yeah,
year.
never mind. You did Pizza Hut and you canvassed.
So talk
That's a
about
job.
the canvassing was for who?
What was it for?
Multiple people.
Like the person?
Yeah.
Mayor Kevin
Robert
Faulkner. Robert.
Do you even know the guy?
Kevin
Kevin
Faulkner.
Faulkner, the mayor.
Yeah.
He's the current mayor, right?
Yeah.
So you guys did a good
Dang,
job.
that was you guys?
I
You
didn't
made
do
that
nothing
happen.
in that job, dude.
This was during the time when minimum wage was $10.50.
I feel like it was lower than that.
No, it
you
was
guys are
like-
getting a lot of money though.
$11?
So it was minimum wage was $10.50, depending on where you live in San Diego. Chula Vista and County in San Diego, they're different. But I remember I applied for this job and I didn't have a car at the time. But they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be like having to go around these places." And I was like, "Let me see if I can get a friend to do it too." It's almost like a pyramid scheme at this point.
Basically.
But I told my friend Federico and our co-host, my friend, not yours. But he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," because they were paying $15 an hour, which is $4 over
Baller.
minimum wage.
But didn't you have to make... That was only if you like worked a certain number of hours?
Yeah, so after you hit that certain number of hours, which is fair, because you were still, I think even before that, you were making more than minimum wage, like 12,
Yeah,
now
like
an extra
12.
$1. But also, if you sold, or if you're like, hey, do you mind if we put like something on your lawn or anything, you would get an extra $1 or $2 or $3, and it's like, no, we're gonna do it for you. You don't even have to like, they didn't have to do anything. So we did that, and at first it's not too bad. Actually,
That was horrible.
yeah, we
Nobody wants to talk to you.
after I told Rico, we told this guy and Eric, and we all went to the meeting, and it was not bad, but we just like the first day, I was like, all right, let's go. We went out in the field, and God, it's like the worst feeling of like having to go door to door at 5 p.m. when people are fresh out of work, eating lunch or dinner. Sorry, like you're just like, hey, do you want to talk about politics from me, an 18-year-old kid? You know,
Hell no.
and they just be like, oh, and I'm like, oh, so the mayor, and they'd be like, oh, I'm already Republican. I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, you're gonna vote for the mayor.
One of the things that sticks out to me that our buddy Eric would always say is,
Man,
he would go
Eric only went once.
He quit
Can't
after
say
the first
anything.
day.
really?
Can't say anything.
All right, then I won't tell that story.
Wait, what did he say?
He said that he'd went up to places and then he'd ask like, "Oh, you registered to vote?" And they like, "Oh, I have the sign that says no soliciting. Can you read?" And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Well, actually, I'm not selling anything. I'm just asking you to register to vote. So technically, I can, you know." And by the time he starts
Oh
explaining it,
my
they
goodness.
already slammed the door in his
Yeah.
face.
Oh, so that time that he did that was the final 3 days of the election.
He came back.
He
at
came
the
back
end.
for that
It was crunch
because
time?
they're paying $20 an hour.
Jeez.
And this was
2016
4 or 5 years ago to an 18-year-old kid.
$20 an hour.
Damn.
for 8
Kidding me?
hours. But I remember when it was the day of voting, it was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. That's different. You're gonna be assigned to 40 houses. So what you would have to do is walk up and down the houses and just keep knocking until everyone voted.
That's
It's like,
crazy.
hey, have you voted? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, all right, I'll be back like in an hour to check on you again.
And they'd be like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah, and they would. And after a while, I was just like,
not
I'm just
go.
gonna sit in the shade, use my phone. Because then the other problem was you
Tracking.
have the app on your phone,
And it
it
tracks
would
you.
drain your battery.
Oh.
So if I'm at like 20% in the middle of nowhere, who am I gonna text? Rico, where are you? Like,
So,
it was,
how many houses would you go to per day, let's say, or per 8 hours?
Did you like go to all of them?
nah, hell
A
no.
lot. I'll just be like, damn, didn't answer.
That's what you can do.
would put that without like even knocking.
Yeah, you click a house on the app, and it would give you like 4 options, like talk to them and something, vote, didn't answer.
Private, like, gate code.
Yeah,
or
gated
something.
property, or like something didn't answer. I would just put like, oh,
How
gated.
many
Can't
of
find
them-
my way in.
How many of them were actually yes? They
20.
wanted to
How
talk
many
or-
minds did you change?
Yeah, there you go. That's the question.
Maybe like 7
Out of
1,000.
Hey, those 7 votes though.
Yeah.
0.07 conversion.
I
rate?
mean,
were they
the-
worth
the
the
mayor
20
won,
times?
so-
It's so hard to get people to do anything at all. Like, I don't care what you could say. Like, "Hey, we're giving you free money." They're like, "I have the
That's
sign."
what I'm doing right now. I'm giving people free money.
And still, what,
Well, I just had- I
what
just
is your
had
current
one.
job? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, just people. It's like emergency rental assistance for
E-rep?
people affected by COVID. And the only thing is that the tenants and the landlord have to be on board. I mean, most landlords are like, they're obviously they want to be on board. But I just had one yesterday. I called them. Or I told you. And then they were like, because we need them to send like a photo of their ID and like fill out a tax form. And then she's just like, you guys are asking me to take a photo of my military ID. I ain't gonna do that. And I was like,
Landlord said
all right, no money for you.
So you're where you work for offers subsidies to people who provide housing.
Yeah, like the county has like a grant, like a certain amount of money to give out to households, and people apply, and if they,
Is this for the COVID relief?
yeah,
Okay, so it's the San Diego like rent assistance thing, right?
yeah, there's like different ones.
Did they create your position because of the current times?
They made the whole. It's like an emergency program, so even like the process of it is like just made, like, so it's kind of like really manual, like an Excel sheet. But yeah, they hired like, they were like temporary workers, and like next week they're hiring like another 15 because we're gonna get like another like 10,000 applications for like the next stage of it.
How long did it take you to get through like
Well,
a day? How many do you do? Did you say?
Well, I came in and they're already like pretty much done with this section, and they only had like 800 applicants, and I was only assigned so far like 20 something.
Oh,
But most of it is just like waiting for them to get back to you. But for the next stage, probably be like a lot busier.
how did you meet him, or how did you two meet?
I think we met the same time that I met Rico as well. Like when we
Trivia
went to
night?
the trivia night.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
The Woodstock.
Woodstock
Woodstock,
pizza.
when we won everything.
No, we
No,
didn't.
we didn't win the first time.
No.
You guys won the second time.
So yeah, it was me, our buddy Eric, his girlfriend Jetsi, Kimberly went with us, and then there was other people there, and there was like 2 teams. We had too many for one team, and we had to split it. And
But the first time we were like a big team, weren't we?
yeah, but they did like a maximum of 6 or something. We had 2 teams the first time too, 2 tables next to each other.
But didn't we have one big team the first time? And like everyone.
Yeah, there were other people cheating though, for sure.
Like phone looking up the answers, that kind of thing.
No, I think like working together or something. But whatever. It was fun.
That was fun.
I just remember that. What was that question about the Harry Potter book?
Potter book?
Like,
it was so we were you said okay, so it was a tiebreaker. So there were 2 teams that were tied. And so one of them, it was a question that like whoever is closest is the, you know what I mean? And
it was like on what page?
No, it
like,
said how many pages were in the 3rd Harry Potter book, Prisoner of Azkaban or something. And then they like took this one team just wrote down like, I mean, I'm not going to know that. And then this other team was like thinking like, they were debating like, no, put this. They're like, what? Well, something. And they took like half an hour, like 30 seconds. And then the guy was like, I need your answer, team, whatever. And then I remember Andres like very loudly on our table was like, I don't know the number. Like super loud. It's like, no, I can't do it. We were laughing for probably like 5 minutes. That was so funny. That was like the funniest thing. But when you think about it, it's like, yeah, just guess.
Give a number.
Yeah, it's not.
Like you're not gonna
no math.
know.
Yeah,
like,
you're not gonna like
Unless you're looking it up.
back into
it's like
the
how many
right
words?
answer.
Like 2,000 divided by this many things.
I mean, you can make a reasonable answer, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't think time is gonna change.
What's the answer?
Like
right,
yeah,
exactly.
Everyone give an answer right
Everybody-
now.
yeah,
What would
everybody
it be?
guess.
I'm gonna
Hold on, let me
say. Let's say
323.
Guess first.
Huh? For the 3rd Harry Potter book?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
323.
Okay. I never actually read it, so this is tough for me. Based on the movie and the trajectory.
471.
472. Can you go over? No. 3. What'd you say?
323.
I'm gonna say it's somewhere.
What did I say? 471?
I feel like it's somewhere in between there, but I have no idea. Definitely not like over 500 pages. No way.
It says U.S. edition.
Hold on.
So I think the 4th book.
I
was the
will say
first one was super long.
425.
521.
Do we know?
U.S. editions of
What is it,
Prisoner of
Andres?
Azkaban.
So there's like multiple.
Okay.
The 2013 U.S. edition says 464.
Ooh.
Dang,
And U.S.
I was
edition
calculating that.
I bet you were.
says 435.
Ooh. So
You said
who's right?
425.
I did.
You said 471. And I said 5,000.
See, I was thinking the 2013 edition, so.
As opposed to the 2020 edition. Revamped. Transgenders. Not in there. The J.K. Rowling. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, everyone's gay.
Learning that Dumbledore
No,
is.
isn't that what the
Oh, in the movie?
No, like she like tweeted out, or like she's saying like, oh, this character was actually gay, or like
Dumbledore? I
Wasn't
feel like
that what it
Dumbledore
was?
you can prove on paper that he was, but if she goes to like other stuff, probably not.
Isn't that what you're talking about?
I was talking about more. She was in the news.
Against trans people?
Yes, there we go.
That's so weird.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, it was so weird. People were hating on her. J.K. Rowling for like she said she tweeted something or put something on Instagram that like that basically disrespected trans women.
So the reason
Only
for that,
trans women?
Yeah.
I think her main argument was that it takes away, like, from women
Accomplishments.
/ issues
Yeah.
that are like, yeah, sets it aside. I guess you could say.
That's
But that was her argument. Not
That
me.
was her whole
Please,
thing.
not me.
We didn't
Get
say that.
'em.
We do not here at the Home Concert Channel. We do not abide by. Do you remember when we would play at? Do you remember when we would play at Floor and Tony's house?
Yeah,
we do like random stuff.
We did that a couple times.
Yeah, a few times.
just to like mess around. I know like I brought an electric drum set and like my bass and whatever.
You took your drums. Yeah, he did take
we
his
just
electric drum
couldn't, we
set.
couldn't connect them.
We didn't figure it out. You had like a
No,
roll.
we-
You had like a
no, we did.
Roland,
No, we did
right?
one.
We did once or twice.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I did have like the crappiest Roland, but it was still a Roland.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say,
yeah.
dude, the crappiest Roland is like
No, it was legit. It sounded good.
Roland
Like,
is expensive.
yeah. So, yeah, we just got together and just jammed, played whatever.
What would we play? I can't remember. I know one time we did "Freaking Out the Neighborhood." That was like
That was like the first
ever song by
Well, we learned a lot
Mac
of Mac.
DeMarco.
What Freaking Out the Neighborhood, and what was the other
Mac DeMiller.
song that we know? Mac the Miller.
Mac DeMiller. What is it?
Mac
What's the Mac
DeMarco.
DeMarco song we play a lot?
Oh, "Still Beating."
Other than that one, never mind. We play a lot of them probably.
Yeah, we did.
Played a ton.
Chamber of Reflections.
We never played that one. Not once. Yeah, never did.
Yeah, we did with David.
I-
At Jonathan's house, I remember we played it one time.
Yeah. No, I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
All I remember at Floor's place was fish tacos.
They were good.
They were legit.
They were solid.
They were fish tacos.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Have you ever written? I'm sure you, in your musical career, there's no way you could not have written something original.
So, I know like, in middle school, high school, like it was more like late high school. Yeah, I wrote a couple things, mostly to like impress a girl or something.
Okay.
But nothing super serious. And it was just for fun, and it was pretty bad.
Do you remember it? Do you still have it?
I mostly remember the chorus of it, but I don't think I'm ever gonna play it for anybody. It was pretty bad.
That's. I mean,
It's all about
have you ever done that again? Like any with the intention of actually like, oh, I'm gonna show people, I'm gonna show friends, family, whoever.
No, just as a musician in particular, I'm not super creative, which might sound a little bit weird. Like,
No. I remember. I feel like I've talked to you about career musicians like playing on a boat or something. Do you remember when we
Yeah.
talked about that?
Yeah.
Where it's like you can, like if you play for a cruise ship or something, you treat it as more of your career or your occupation rather than I am a musician. I write every day,
Yeah.
create something. But if you play, you're playing the same 20, 30 songs over and over again, you can still have fun doing that, but it's not like your creative outlet. You know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
mean, not to mention like to me, I just don't think I'm that type of person, like to write music in particular. Like if someone wrote music for me, I would play
Perform
it. Yeah.
What if I write music for you?
If you write it for me, I'll play it. Sure.
It's tough.
But
I'm gonna have to
anyway.
listen to a
Play the
lot of
keys.
Josh Groban.
Andres doesn't want to play the keys anymore. So Dave,
You can replace me.
Yeah.
Did you take? Did you
Sorry,
take,
we didn't mean
like-
to put you on the spot.
Who wants to play keys?
Did
What
you
did you-
take piano lessons growing up?
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, I played piano on and off. Like when I first started in second grade, I think I took piano lessons for a year or something. And then after that, it was just playing by myself and teaching myself. And then, I did it again, like every couple years. I would just start taking lessons for a few months.
What other instruments besides
You're
violin, piano, guitar,
Bass.
Can you count them with one hand?
drums.
Like what? To
You're
what
a multi-instrumentalist,
Violin.
is what you are.
Like-
that's a
Let's say you can play a
legitimate
song.
term.
Like I can just
Play a full song.
play a full song on. I don't think there's any instrument that I play that I can't play a full song on.
But what instruments are they?
Okay, so started with piano, second grade, violin, fifth grade, cello, like 10th grade or something. Then bass guitar after that, acoustic guitar, randomly picked up uke and drums in there.
Uke. Classic.
I mean, everyone is carrying around ukes in high
Classic
school.
Yep. A lot of Filipinos in
Our
Mar Vista.
school.
Yeah, in our school and in Mar Vista High School, which is also really nearby. Picked up uke at some point,
Everyone. Yeah.
specifically. For
I will
the-
say I was not one of those people though. I learned it after like it got big. Wait, what does that even mean?
Then you are one of those people.
No. I like refused to play it for a while.
Oh, okay.
Until like I think my younger brother and his friend used to play it a lot more.
Bought
And
into the hype.
I was like, might as well if they are just like available ukes everywhere sitting around.
Uke warehouse. What else? Anything else? Anything you missed in that long list?
I mean, being in orchestra with all the string instruments, like a lot of times we just messed around and like traded instruments, especially like if there's a substitute teacher. Like they don't know what we play.
And then they like get in the song and you're like, dude, you're doing horrendous.
No, they don't even know. We just like, this is what we're going to do with class.
They weren't like actual music teachers, the substitutes, right?
No, they just like,
They're substitutes.
like scabs.
yeah,
protect
they just
you.
sat in there and like,
To
oh
watch,
yeah,
yeah.
like I don't know how you guys do this class.
I have to
just
watch
do your
it.
thing.
Like, yeah. Like they're subs for anything. Any subject.
Is that how it was for you? When there was a sub, you stuff people in lockers, right? Wasn't that a thing?
I think we had like two music teachers, so like if one of them was out, the other one would take over.
Somebody got stuffed in a case or something.
Oh yeah, no, into lockers.
Yeah, that's
Where
what
we.
in the locker.
Yeah, so I've heard conflicting. I've heard
He
he,
put
got
himself
it.
in
Yeah,
there.
he went himself in there, but then they locked it. Like once he was in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude,
So
I
he
would get
put himself, and he was like trying to like get
As a joke?
attention, and then
Yeah.
someone locked him, and then
Dude,
freaking
that's
out?
started
messed up.
freaking out.
Did you guys get him out right away or no?
Did anybody get in trouble for that?
I think so.
How long was he
We had a
in
lot
there?
of troublemakers.
How long was he in
It
there?
wasn't that long. Huh?
Like 10 minutes, man.
Dude, 10 minutes was
No,
a long
I'm just
time.
No,
I
but
don't
it's
know.
not. It's
Like
not.
if-
It's like a. It's like a bit. Like you could stand in there. It's not like a school locker.
Oh,
Okay.
Like it's for instruments.
I see.
But I mean, yeah, he was like 15 minutes. Maybe.
what?
Jeez.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of bullies and
You didn't help
troublemakers in
him?
your.
Dude, that's
That's
Is
still
that a
bad.
little combination?
Who did?
If you did, would
I
you
don't
have helped him?
Bullies.
I
Bunch
was
of
that.
bullies.
Not me though. I wouldn't do that.
Is that recording? We have PTSD from
Yeah,
that.
that's happened already. So
Like
I'm gonna
3 or
ask
4
you every
times.
like 20, half an hour.
no worries. All good.
I'll just go like this.
Now let's go
Oh,
personal.
I was asking about piano just because, like, when you, I guess, like, depending how you learn, like, if you take classes, it's most usually, like, more, like, classical, and it's less, like, creative. You're just, like,
Oh yeah,
learning.
for sure.
You're just learning, yeah. Sheet music, reading, sight reading.
I mean, I definitely think that was like a huge part of like my bass musicianship. Like, I mean, being able to read music and like sight read basic music and like
Oh,
second,
you mean
third grade.
bass? Like
No,
BASE?
bass. Yeah, bass. Yeah, my
I
bass.
was like,
yeah.
wait, I thought we were
musical
talking about piano.
bass. Yeah.
Like your foundation.
Yes, there you go.
Musicianship.
Can you
Foundation.
sight read pretty well for piano?
Tom Breer.
Not so much for piano. Like, I mean, if it's like really basic, I can. But for violin and cello, I was pretty good.
You seen that guy on YouTube who sight reads the Mario songs? Is it Tom Breer?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But he
Literally
he
note
was-
for note.
Have you seen? He's like, he was in an accident or something. He can't play.
No. Oh man,
Some sort of brain thing.
that sucks.
Something Rico wanted to ask you too was, I have it here. It's like if other personalities have gotten in the way when you guys are like, at least for church bands, if that's happened where it's like made you uncomfortable or maybe like, you know, the dynamics of the group. Because he was saying that has happened to him before. Where it's
He
kinda
was
like,
telling. I'd love to have him come back into this, but he was telling a story of his where like, oh, like somebody was late or something, and they kind of ruined that whole setting, that whole session of practice because they're like, you gotta show up on time and you gotta play on time. You know what I mean? Because there's like the band leader.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
So I think, like, to be honest,
It wasn't that they were late. It just they were off time.
Off time.
oh,
But if he was late, he's
He was like, not quite my tempo.
like, I think like with church bands in particular, like it's really common. It's hard because like everyone's volunteers, you know. and you don't know what kind of musical background most people have. Like, I think in all the like churches that I've been in and played in, like there have been very few with like actual like music background, like taking any classes or learning stuff. It's just people who picked up instruments and just started playing. So like obviously you have those people who are in charge sometimes who do have a musical background, and they're all like, you guys can't play with the metronome, like, you know, or like you guys can't keep time, or like we're trying to change the key, like, can you do that?
Yeah, I feel like I get both sides of that, because at the same time, when you think about it, your audience is not going to tell the difference.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
no,
what I mean?
100%.
So, but
I don't know.
at the same time, if you come from that background, I see why you would want to hold your peers to a standard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the, you're going to do it terribly.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I mean, like, there's something that's always brought up within church groups. It's like there's a verse in the Bible that says like playing, it's like playing skillfully, like for the Lord. Like,
Do they say that?
yeah, no, there's a verse like in the Bible that talks about like when you're doing it, like play skillfully, like not just like it doesn't just say play, it says play skillfully, like do what you do well. So that's what they use to be like, hey, you guys should like put some time and effort into what you're doing.
I'm guessing that's what the verse is trying to convey, right? That's what the meaning people get from it.
Yeah.
So when you do something, don't do it just to do it. Give it your all.
Yeah.
That's like, it's talking about in general, right? Not just music or worship.
What was the context for that?
I guess it's an
Dude.
example you can probably apply to
Play the
Anything
electric
with
guitar.
football.
in general. Yeah.
The Lord said,
Play skillfully.
play skillfully.
But I wonder what like that verse itself.
I don't remember. I have to look it up
Playing
probably.
the electric guitar.
Andres?
When you play the electric guitar. But anyways, like,
Jesus said, play the electric guitar skillfully.
but I do think,
Blasphemy.
like, especially like going back to the original point with everyone being volunteers, like a lot of people just have different views on the way like things should be done or run. And like, you get people who show up late all the time, like at least in a couple of groups that I've been in. And like, it's hard to control attitudes because it's like, they're not getting paid for this. They're like giving up their time for free.
Yeah. I actually, that's tough.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that.
I don't like it either.
Because it's like, you can't volunteer and then use that as an excuse to not contribute. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, I'm not getting paid. I can leave. It's like, okay, we'll leave. You know what I mean? You
Well,
have
I
to-
don't think that's their mindset. It's just that it's hard to like force something onto other people.
Definitely.
Like when they're like, you know, they're trying, quote unquote, or like we don't have enough resources, especially with smaller churches.
You don't have a lot of options.
Mhm.
I guess I feel like that's something that I've felt as I've gotten older. Because I know, just me as a younger kid, I probably would say some stuff like that. Just be like, I'll just leave. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why? You know what I mean? But now I'm older. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm disciplined now. You know what I mean? As a child, it's not.
Like one of my close friends, actually, he was a pastor's kid, and he played bass for our church band, and he was really good. Like he could play well, but he really didn't care about being on the team. Like just because he was a pastor's kid, like he was expected
Special
to,
treatment.
right? And he would just like, dude, the bass for like church songs are so easy. Like I'm not even gonna go to practice. You know, I'm just gonna show up like an hour late, and like, well, we need it for the song, so just let him play. But
That sucks.
yeah,
Oh, that.
it's annoying as heck. But yeah, it's hard to control people's attitudes.
It is. In anything, really.
I feel like when it comes to that, even if it is volunteering, you didn't feel comfortable speaking up. Saying like, hey, I would be greatly appreciated if we all came on time. And like, not even like single him out, but just say like, oh, because we need all instruments during the practice sessions because then it's harder for everyone.
I mean, eventually,
David.
like eventually, like we did end up like getting him quote unquote kicked out.
Fired.
Like to
Yeah.
be honest,
Really? The pastor's son?
I mean, he actually didn't want to be in it anymore. Like he was just being made to.
Yeah, yeah.
So like he wanted to leave anyways. So
Okay.
And
worked out.
everyone else just agreed.
Ouchie.
But he's pretty chill. He's still one of my friends.
Cool guy.
Yeah, I just wouldn't play in a band with him.
Would you play D&D with him? Segway.
So David, you're very into Dungeons and Dragons, right? Or at least you've played
Yeah.
a number of times before, right?
I played in the past with a couple groups, and right now I'm actually DMing, dungeon mastering for another group of friends.
Right now?
Not at this second.
Well, no, yeah, but like you're in the middle of a
campaign.
Campaign, yes.
Yeah. So basically, during COVID, like obviously, there's not many opportunities for us to get together.
For sure.
So we're like, we can do an online D&D campaign since we have time, and we've been doing it for a few months.
How's that going?
Good. We do it on Sunday afternoons, but if people get busy, we skip. But yeah, I mean we've gotten through maybe a third of the content that I have. Like basically use a pre-written thing with my own adjustments. Yeah.
Do you know what it is we're talking about?
Dungeons and Dragons. Excuse me. Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
I've heard of it before.
Um,
Never played it.
For
I feel
those
like
who
every-
don't know what it is, can you explain what it is exactly?
Sure.
Because I don't.
It's a
really
role-playing, like
Yes.
fantasy game.
It's a tabletop role-playing like fantasy game. Basically like
That's exactly.
yeah. I mean, he got it right. He got it right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
But like
was
specifically,
elaborating
like
on it.
tabletop, like is the whole thing. Like instead of like some animated stuff or like a video game, like the pieces are on the table, like a chessboard almost. You have a map, and then you have your characters, and they can move. And a lot of it takes place in your mind.
Big chunk of it.
Yeah. I
Pretty
mean,
much the entirety of the game.
yeah, basically you just imagine things and it sounds really nerdy.
It's so.
It is.
From
It
what
is
I
nerdy.
It is
understand.
nerdy. There's
It's
no
a huge.
way around
Yeah, it really is. And when I took a game design course at San Diego State, and our professor, he was like, the first class, you guys are going to play Dungeons and Dragons. This is the greatest game ever made. You have to play. And you know, a lot of I had never played it before, but a lot of the people who were in there had, and so they were super excited, and they try to run the game and stuff. And from what I understand, the point of is not to win. It's not the point of playing the game. It's the point is to make the best story possible. Like, so if it doesn't serve you personally, but it serves the story, you would do that thing. You know what I mean? You don't play as like a competitive advantage over the other players.
Like one description that I've heard that I think is good is like all the players are like actors, like playing a character.
Role-playing.
And then
Yeah.
the dungeon master is like the director, like the director / like writer. Like they come up with a scenario, they describe the scene, they like give the other non-playable characters life, and then it's just like however the actors decide their characters would interact with everything around them.
I watched a couple videos recently about it, just because it came up on my newsfeed. Not newsfeed.
YouTube.
Recommended it on YouTube. Did you play when you were younger or no?
No, I mean I was always interested in it, but I think the first time I played, I was already like 22 or something, 23.
So last year.
Yeah.
Because I asked because there's like a what's the word, resurgence of it, like people would play a lot.
Stranger Things. It's
Oh,
coming
yeah,
back
yeah.
into the
The culture.
mainstream.
What were you gonna say? Nothing.
Zeitgeist.
What?
It's coming back into the zeitgeist.
Is that a thing? I don't know that. I've never heard that before.
Sounds like a thing.
I mean, isn't it also a thing like with like similar like to like baseball cards, like how there's a resurgence in baseball cards? And I think I heard people saying that part of it is like these younger kids at the time, like who were into it but couldn't afford it, like now have money and free time.
To afford it.
Yeah.
I used to collect football cards. Like, I had folders of football cards, and I'd have them like in protective sleeves, and like I have a bunch of rookie cards, jersey cards, signed cards. I would go like every day. There was a card shop
One
down
Stop
the
Hobby
street.
Shop?
Huh?
One Stop Hobby Shop?
Was that the one by
Purple Cow?
Let's go? Yeah, right there. I would
Yep.
go there all the time, look at the cards, be like, oh, I want this one. I'll get this pack. I remember I would even ride my bike to it, like just to buy some cards. And then I have them all in like a shoebox. But my brother, he collected and collects basketball cards, and he got some like. I think he has a Kobe Bryant rookie card, Scottie Pippen card, Michael Jordan card, Shaq cards, like rookie cards. And we were just looking up like how much they sell for. And
Does he still have them?
Valuable now?
yeah, we have them, and he graded them.
Oh, he
yeah,
has
them
some
like
of
the
them.
hard plastic.
Yeah, if you grade them, the value goes up.
Dang.
Because it's like it takes
You have
like
to pay to do that.
3
They're all
weeks.
10s, right?
I think one of them is like a 9.5 or 9. Some are 10. One are 10.
They take into account a lot of stuff, like the condition of the card,
Right.
how rare the card is itself, that kind of thing. You know who graded cards and showed us them? Mr. Almeria. 5th grade elementary school teacher.
Sports cards?
Yeah, he had, right? He had a bunch of graded cards and he would pull them out and be like, "Hey, look at that." Flex on a bunch of elementary
Ain't that
school
something nice?
kids. Yeah. He was really funny. He was a good teacher. That was crazy. I've been there too. One Stop Hobby Shop.
I used to just buy a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
I didn't even
yes.
play. I just like, oh, it's a pack of cards. I want to open it.
They had Yu-Gi-Oh cards there with the sticker. So like the sticker in the corner, that's how you knew it was real. They
Yeah.
didn't have the sticker. It's fake. And there was that discount store next to Rite Aid. There was a discount store that I don't think it's there anymore.
Like the sticker
Oh, they used to have
Yeah.
like a
They had
bunch
the-
of clothes, huh?
Yeah, a lot of just clothes, and then outside
machine.
they
Oh, yeah,
had
I did
those
remember that. They had like the fake
homies.
the fake packs.
They had fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and me and my brother would go there because they were like $3 for like really good cards, and we would like
Yeah,
play.
just so you can play with them.
you're just trying to play.
I used to collect
Like Swami.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Like, I used to play and collect.
I still have them somewhere.
Dude, let's play.
Nah.
You can find it.
like
I used to
boxing
be really
magic?
into it. Like,
Starter decks only.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
yeah.
I used to
Me
did
too,
you watch
man.
the show?
Me too.
Original
Even the
season
show,
starter
yeah.
decks only.
Mm-hmm.
I had
Dark Magician, dude. Blue
Red
Eyes
Eyes,
White Dragon.
Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Freaking
yeah, you're more of
Slifer
a-
the Sky Dragon.
I had Ra, the Winged Dragon Ra, but it was fake. I got it over there.
It's like
I had the
holographic
real one. I had the
sticker.
3 fake
What are
ones.
you guys
Yeah.
saying? What are these words?
Did you see the movie in theaters?
The new one?
No, it was like in 2006. I
saw
it was
the
the,
movie, yeah.
the pyramid. There's like Egyptian
Pretty sure I saw it. Yeah, I did.
where they fight. It's just a one fight. That's the whole movie.
With the guy with the eye, right? With the fake eye?
No, that was the show. It was.
Oh, okay.
It was
I don't think I saw the movie
I
then.
didn't watch it.
Kaiba.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Seto Kaiba. They when you go to the movie, they would give you one. Yeah, so there was like a rotating thing of 5 unique cards that you can only get from buying a ticket to the movie. And so when they give you the 3D glasses, they're like, "Oh, here's your card." And so I got one, my brother got one, my cousin got one. And we're like,
It was Raw?
no, there were cards that were never seen on the show. So and like Sphinx, Pyramid of Light, and like a bunch of other stuff. It's crazy. I wonder how much they're worth now.
$2.
But anyways, well, do you think, at least for D&D, would you need money to really play that when you're younger? Because you're acting.
I mean, so
You could technically play without any
anything.
physical stuff,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Just paper.
like, yeah, you can. It's just like knowing the rule set and like everything that's available to you, like the system. It's all about the system. Like if you have access to like the system and the rules, you can just play with anything. But I will say, like, especially as younger people, like the pre-built campaigns are very useful. Like even me, I have a hard time doing something from scratch. My creative side again. So
I guess that is
like
true.
it's way easier for me to like buy a pre-built campaign and just like add my own flavor to it.
Do you, at least for the one that you're doing now, was that all you? Or did you do
No.
what, pre-built?
Pre-built.
And you just make changes.
And like there are a couple events that have happened in our game that are not written into the book, into the storyline. I just like dude, it would be cool if this happened. So let me make it happen.
I guess we were talking about this because his brother, which we had on before you, he wants to be a director / writer, right? That's what he does now. But were you ever interested in playing that, Andres? D&D? Or did you ever play?
No, I never played. I wanted to try it, but we never did it.
I would also try it.
How about you?
Never did.
I guess the reason I would be interested in it, like we were talking about with
Reading.
your broski, is just acting. You're acting. That's, I guess, the fun part. That I would think is fun.
There are short campaigns that's like 1 or 2 sessions long. And I mean, that's definitely available if you guys just want to try it.
Maybe we'll try it on the show.
On our new D&D
Hey,
podcast. Spin-off of the Home Concert Channel podcast. D&D podcast.
The
coming
Home
to Spotify
D&D.
and iHeartRadio.
That
soon
would be
too.
fun.
Yeah, I would be down to do it.
Just like act. Just acting. Just acting right now.
Just acting.
Brilliant.
So, no original music for you. Ever.
No original campaign for you. David, what do you do?
David, you have like a lot of hobbies, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna
like,
ask that right now, too.
I like trying a lot of different things. And if I like something, I want to get to like a quote unquote acceptable point in my mind
That's us.
I've
Where it's-
heard, yeah,
where it's like I don't want to say I do something and not be able to do it.
Or you'd not be able to hold a conversation about it either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fair.
yeah, I've heard Eric, because I mean he plays with you, and he's like speaks very high. Like this guy's just like whatever he plays or does, he just like wants to be the best, and he's like insanely
I
good.
wanna be the very best. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, it's like one of the things that I compare it to is like going out and playing soccer with your friends. Like, yes, it's fun to just like kick the ball around, but wouldn't it be like more fun if you guys could actually like shoot and like like play together, like play a game?
That's us, at least now with Smash.
Play a lot of Smash.
We used to play like
Casually.
I didn't know what I was doing at all.
Turns out if you play
And
for
now?
1,000 hours, you get good.
Was it like 10,000 hour rule?
Yeah. Yeah. To become an expert or a master at something, 10,000 hours. What are some of your other... I mean, jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, martial arts is a huge thing.
How did you get started in martial arts?
So growing up, I always wanted to do martial arts. Like,
Why?
just because
What did you see?
kung fu movies, man, it's so
Why?
cool.
Doesn't every
Like-
kid want to do that?
Yeah, seriously, Power Rangers, people like fighting and like just kicking butt.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, Jackie Chan Adventures. But yeah, so like we took karate for a few months when I was a young kid. But me and my older brother like would spar and get into fights and hurt each other sometimes. So my mom took us out of it.
Like, actually...
I mean,
Would it go from friendly sparring match to like actually trying to hurt each other?
so it might come to a surprise, but when I was younger, I had like pretty bad anger issues.
That was very surprising, actually.
So yeah, like whenever my brother would accidentally hurt me or something, I would like go crazy, like freaking black out and just go after them. Like,
Wow.
Can't imagine that with you right now.
yeah, one of the
Sweetest
biggest
man I ever met.
stories my brother always shared was like we were like sparring with sticks or something, and like he like hit me in the hand or something, and I like started crying, like I
Staff?
think in particular
Bitch ass.
it was
There's a word for it? Like boku something?
like no, I mean it was quote unquote staffs, but my parents were doing janitorial services at the time, so we had a bunch of like brooms and stuff. So we would like
That's cool.
undo the broom head. So we just had the poles and we'd just like fight with them. And I got hit once and I started crying. So I like ran away, and then he was like, what the hell? Right. And I come back with like an electric pencil sharpener,
Oh my God.
like, you know, like
I don't even know where
the
this is
big
going.
pencil sharpener with like the cord. And I was just like swinging it by the cord and chasing him like I was
How
going to
old
kill
were
him.
you? 5?
20?
It was early elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were looking to kill your brother.
Yeah. I mean,
So after that...
I don't know. I blacked out.
Yeah, exactly. You don't remember.
Would you guys do that as kids? Like Fight?
Yeah, me and my brother. So
But,
I've
like,
never
play
been to
fights.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Cousins.
Sticks.
Sticks?
Yeah, I got pretty violent with some cousins a few times.
Cousins?
Yeah.
There's always that.
Yeah.
Like with what? Like your fists?
We're like wrestling,
Yeah,
but
wrestling.
like
Yeah.
Then you guys would
pretty
get mad.
tough on, yeah.
Something would
blacked out a
happen,
couple
and
times.
Yeah,
somebody
just
would
get heated,
flip.
like playing soccer, or just playing something and you get heated, and yeah,
For
you
sure.
just-
I feel like that always.
I feel like with my brothers, maybe.
I feel like that now.
But with friends, no. I think because my friend Tony and his brother Jesse, we loved Star Wars. Like, loved it when it
Dude,
came out,
it's
Revenge
so
of the
cool.
Sith. Like, it came out, and that was the first Star Wars movie I had ever seen as a kid. Revenge of the Sith. And I was like, whoa. I mean, obviously now looking back at it, the movie's like not the best, but as a kid,
It's cool.
So what we did is we went to Home Depot and we got like,
Oh, me too. Like PVC pipes and like
no, we got like wooden sticks
Oh shit!
to make the handles.
to make the handles, and then we'd like smooth them out so it'd be like a smooth stick, and then we'd paint them
I
like
did
that.
the exact same thing.
Yeah, and then Tony got a really long one because he liked Darth Maul, so he did like the center, and then I had like
Oh, did he?
yeah, and I like
Ray Park?
a short one. And Jesse had like a long one, and we would just go at it like in the middle of where I used to live. There was apartments. There was just like a stretch of cement and then grass on both sides, and he'd be like, "Oh, can't step on the grass." So we'd stay like that.
You would fight like dun dun.
Yeah, we would.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then after that, we like, I think like a couple months later, that's when like real lightsabers came out, like to kill people. Like the plastic ones
Yeah.
that were actually like lighting up.
It was before that.
Yeah, it was
But you can't
before
go
that.
hard on those, dude.
Yeah, well, you
they
can't.
break
As hard as
easily.
with sticks.
But what's so cool is that at night we would do it, and you just see like the lights like, and it was just a good time as a kid.
As a kid,
Wish I
yeah.
could go back.
I definitely do recall those things. Like I was the youngest of like all my cousins, all of them growing up. So it was always like, oh, be careful with Junior. Like, oh, watch out with Junior. Like, oh, yeah, back up, because Junior. I'm like, no, hit me. I was always the smallest one. Because my brother's 2 years older than me, and all my cousins are older than him. So it was my brother. So it was always like my brother would always like kind of be the like, you can do it to Ricky, don't do it to Junior. Then we started getting older and stuff like that, and yeah, football and stuff. I remember playing football as a lot of my family was there, and yeah, things would get very, very heated, specifically with football. We never played soccer though, so it might have been different.
You said you with soccer?
Yeah, I mean, but in soccer you can also hurt someone
physically.
Tackling?
physically.
You can do it in football too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much my point.
Or are you the younger one of your cousins or older?
I'm in the middle. For my mom's side, I have a lot of cousins. Probably like over 15.
Yeah, my mom's side is pretty big too.
Yeah.
Mexican families are huge. So I was telling them that I have a cousin that's like 17, and then I have a cousin that's like 50 years old. So like the gap there.
Oh,
is,
the
like-
guy that
That's
we
your
rode with?
range.
Yeah, he's like 45, 46, and Ricky's like 17.
See your youngest?
Ricky is
So
the
your
cutoff,
youngest
the
child.
youngest cousin. But then all our nieces and nephews,
He's the youngest and the tallest.
yeah, he's 17, and he's like an uncle to a like 20-year-old.
Classic.
So our
Mexican
family is just animals.
So you'd fight with your brother, and that's how you got into.
So yeah, so like
Did you take pencil
we-
sharpener
Big
classes?
tangent.
Yeah, that was a long
So
tangent.
sorry.
No,
So no, that's what I like.
okay, so yeah, like I was always into martial arts, and then like when we finally grew up, got a job, could actually afford to pay for my own classes, I decided. Oh well, one of my friends invited me. They were saying like, "Hey, we should go try something," and we ended up taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And from there, like, just started watching a lot of MMA and a lot of martial arts stuff, and just got super into it.
Yeah, you would always talk to me about the Gracie family stuff. Like you'd always say like, oh no, but this, like, there's a lot of fables almost.
Yeah,
I guess
like-
you could call them fables or legends
Like,
about that.
There's a lineage to it. Like,
Yeah.
everyone talks about lineage in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially because it's one of the newer martial arts. Like, I think.
Well, it has like Taekwondo and karate hundreds of years,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. But like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in particular, like, I mean, obviously they take everything from like Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, judo, wrestling, and all that stuff. but like as itself, as its own art, it's only been since like 1930s, 1940s, something like that. It's like very recent. So like it's a big thing to be like, oh, what's your lineage? Like, where do you come from? Like, did you learn from this person who learned from this person? And then we can get like within 3-4 generations to the origin of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
As opposed to when it's karate, you'd be like, "Oh, so what's your lineage, dude? You gotta
It's
go
like-
back like 1,000 years."
12 different generations of martial artists. But here, like 3 people ago was the person who, 3 people ago was the person who created the art.
So in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA in particular, even within that martial art, there's like styles or different techniques. What would you call that? Because if you like learn from someone who actually started to branch out a little bit from, I guess, or started to create their own thing with Brazilian
Variations.
Jiu-Jitsu. There we go.
I mean, within Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like people like, I mean, a lot of the practitioners like talk about it as if it's like chess. Like the game is the same. It's just different people have different styles of playing it. Like, what are your opening moves? What like attacks and defenses are you comfortable with, and what do you like to use? And that's all up to like, first of all, where you're learning from, and also like body style and your own comfort. Like a bigger guy like me, like we usually tend to like have better top games. Like
You're a power top.
but yeah, basically like especially like bigger guys and people who are into wrestling, like when they get on top, it's just so hard to like get out and like have space to do anything. Like they can control you and like
Unless you're on
smother
top of this guy who can force you off.
you. No means no.
I can just bench you off of me.
That was a long time ago.
Was there like a reason you chose Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or just?
So I honestly was just following what my other friend invited me to. But after taking it,
Fell
like,
in love.
yeah, it just made a lot of sense to me. I mean, the UFC was originally created by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners who just wanted to show off. Like, they just wanted to, like, use the UFC as, like, an advertisement for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
To show that their martial
so
arts is very dominant.
Yes.
The ground game is like,
Because they were beating people like who came from Taekwondo or came from karate or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, like, they had, like the quote-unquote Gracie Challenge was a big thing where, like, they came to the United States
Helio?
from...
Was it Helio Gracie?
Yeah, Helio Gracie and like his side of the family were on the West Coast, I know. And like they were just inviting people to come and like if you can beat our guy, like we'll give you $100 or something. And like we're just gonna videotape everything. And like they have like records of like hundreds of fights. They just like didn't share it with anybody. I mean, some of the footage is released. But yeah, like they were just beating the crap out of everyone and wanted to show on a national, like international level, like this is what we can do.
since you were talking about variations in jiu-jitsu, have you seen when Eddie Bravo and someone from the Gracie family, they have a match?
That was it like their first match with Eddie Bravo and like Royler Gracie or something? I don't know.
I think so. It was an actual like
Octagon?
kind of.
Oh no, it was. So this wasn't a. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay, then I'd have to look it up. But
Let's look it up.
they go at it, and Eddie Bravo has him like in some kind of lock, but he just doesn't tap out, and he doesn't want to break his leg.
You know, I think that was, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it was a jiu-jitsu match, and it was like pretty early on when Eddie Bravo, he's like a famous Brazilian jiu-jitsu
Would you consider him
practitioner.
to be one of the best? Because that's what people say, that he's probably one of the best. And I wonder what you think, since you actually know about it and I don't.
Does he fight still?
He's a he teaches jiu-jitsu.
Okay,
But
so
he's not in like for title fights or anything like
like
that.
I don't
best
think
like right now or just at his time or whatever.
Sure.
So I think Eddie Bravo was one of the more innovative, like earlier on.
Sorry.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Like he started doing things that was traditionally like not accepted in like original Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like footlocks and ankle locks. Like one of the stories was like I don't think he was a black belt yet, but he went against a Gracie like black belt in a tournament, and he was winning, and he like had a foot or an ankle lock, and the guy wasn't tapping out. And what ended up happening was like at the time people were like, dude, you're not supposed to do that. Like foot locks and ankle locks aren't part of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So like he didn't want to let go of it because obviously he was controlling and he could break the guy's ankle anytime. But the other guy didn't want to tap out. The crowd started booing and like even like throwing crap into the ring, and he just ended up letting go because like, yeah.
Didn't want to hurt the guy.
Yeah.
Like permanently
But
damage.
did that like eventually
Gone
get
sour.
go into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, like nowadays, like there's even a team like that is well known for like their foot stuff, their leg stuff. Yeah, I said that weirdly, but
okay.
but yeah, like, and like they were dominating like the scene for a while.
That's so weird. Whenever you would talk about it with me, you said, "Oh, they drew a lot from Vale Tudo."
Vale Tudo, yeah.
Vale Tudo, and it's so weird to say like, "Oh, you can't do this," when Vale Tudo is literally everything goes.
I mean, I think it's something that like evolved when Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like started becoming more mainstream. Like originally, it was Vale Tudo. Like we just want to make an art that can just beat the crap out of somebody else in a street fight, you know. But like as the practitioners went against each other and like started having competitions and like rules were added, that's when like oh, certain things are just like not done.
Yeah.
Like stylistically.
Yeah, like once it's like a competition, you need to have like standards in certain things.
Structure rules.
Structure.
Have you ever tried to make a D&D campaign where they have to fight each other in real life using jiu-jitsu?
I have not, but that sounds fun.
It's innovative, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to act like, oh, you lost.
Pretty
That's
tiring.
minus like 10 life points. So is that how it works? I don't know. Right? You should do that.
Sure.
You would combine both things you love,
Nice.
and like you'd have your own school, like David and Dragons Jiu-Jitsu School of
David and Dragon.
Academy.
See, tying everything together, dude. All your passions. But it's funny though, because like martial arts is art. Music is art.
You
There
could
you
be
go.
creative, like you could be creative in martial arts too.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know what I mean? Not you,
You said you can't.
because you said you couldn't.
Nah, I can't.
But you know, people can be. People innovate. Yeah, like Eddie Bravo, like you said, one of the most
Yeah.
innovative, creative guys.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
it's
just-
always interesting to see something like in martial arts that you haven't seen before.
It's so weird.
Like especially because you'd imagine the human body only goes certain ways, and like there's only certain things you can do with it. And then suddenly someone does something out of
Crazy.
nowhere.
I feel like for women, jiu-jitsu is like they should know how to do stuff. Because David being like a bigger man on top of me, I'm like, all right, how do I get him off of me?
Just push him. Oh, but like if as
Just for safety,
yeah,
I think it's important. Because that's like the whole point of jiu-jitsu, right? Like being on your back or being like on the
floor game.
being on the defensive.
Being comfortable on like in any position basically, or like
Yeah.
on your back. I mean,
I guess not just for women, but just important.
one of the things they say is like
For self-defense purposes.
Yeah,
right?
first.
in general,
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant to.
Yep.
You didn't have to.
You didn't have to.
Is there any like who are you listening to? Are there people who are inspiring you to continue to play music?
yeah, I mean like basically influences on my
Yeah.
music.
So who influenced you when you got started, and then we'll kind of transition to people who are influencing you now.
Sure. So
When you played in second grade and that cousin played for you, who were you channeling?
when I was young, I mean, it was just like, since I was taking classical music classes, like I just played mostly classical music.
So Beethoven's your biggest influence?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wolfgang Amadeus.
Did you ever get into playing like covers on the violin?
Let me think. I mean, yes and no. I mean, like they always have things where like there's violins in like movies and movie music, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Score.
Yeah, the score. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was one of my favorite things. Like especially, I think when I was in Midway's High School, every year they would have like a specific concert where they played like Disney music or movie music, and it was just extremely enjoyable to play that. And like, dude, it's like watching a movie but just listening to it.
I feel like that movie music, score music is super recognizable. Like beyond some top Billboard songs. You know what I mean? But it's just they're not released or measured in that way.
Yeah.
Downloads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but there are more people who will recognize like, oh, that's the Star Wars theme
Yeah.
versus like whatever the biggest song in 1977 was.
Definitely. Like, yeah, my favorite one was like Pirates of the Caribbean. Was so fun
Does it
to
go?
play.
I can't picture.
Yes, so good. It was so hype. Like
Classic.
playing that in orchestra.
Orchestra song.
Yeah, it was so hype.
You play that?
crashy.
No, but I wasn't in orchestra, but I saw it. Would you learn a lot of stuff like on your own just so you could like come to class and be like, hey, look at this. This is cool.
Yes and no. I mean,
Like show off to your friends.
I think one of the biggest things like to show off was like, I had the access to like classes and stuff. So I did take private violin lessons for a while and just like working with my private teacher there and then like bringing that to class and being like, hey, like,
So you're like miles ahead.
yeah, yeah,
Of the game.
it was fun.
I know the game.
You said so classical when you started, but I mean there have to have been a point where you started like following other musicians, local or big name otherwise. Who would those people be in your early music?
So like growing up, it was mostly like picking up what my older brother listened to. Like I just like listened to whatever my older brother did, especially when he used to drive me around all the time. Like I'm just listening to like punk, ska, alternative.
Elaborate. Examples
like for ska, Real Big Fish,
Okay.
Save Ferris.
There we go.
Like
The Mighty Mighty Boston.
oh yeah, dude, they're good. And then a lot of pop stuff too. Eventually,
Around what years?
like
Like so your brother was driving you around. What time was this?
early high school, late middle school.
last month.
Yeah, I remember like even like in the mornings, like when we're sleepy, like rolling down the windows and just like jamming out like super loud to like was it 99 Red Balloons, like the All American Rejects, stuff like that.
All American Rejects. Nice.
Like
That's
a cover
cool.
of it.
99 Red Balloons.
Like a punk version.
Is that what
Oh
you
yeah,
listened
the Goldfinger one, not the
Oh really?
not the,
The Goldfinger did So Here I Am.
It's they do it in English, yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the
Never heard
first
that.
verse is in English, second verse
in a little toy shop, buy a bag of balloons
with the money we've got.
No, I've never. What? They did
Tony Hawk's.
Sure.
Pro Skater.
Pro Skater 1, yeah. And now?
Now, it's mostly just well, first of all, obviously Christian stuff
For sure.
like Phil Wickham, Chris Tomlin, Bethel worship. Like, I know these are random names,
I was about to
Toby,
say,
man.
like, I mean, I
but
know,
okay, but they're
I
like
have no idea.
they're like. So I would describe them as like mostly like guitar and vocally Like
Jack Johnson song.
kind of.
Yeah, who are other artists that they
I mean, the thing with Christian music too is it's usually extremely simple because like they want people to like be able to focus on like the theme and the
Wow.
message.
That's exactly. I think Fedor said that exact thing like 2 episodes ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like it's not about it's about connecting with the
Complexity.
yeah.
audience.
And they don't want you to do anything that's like overly distracting
Like show
because like imagine like you're like praying and like worshiping and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what's that?
guitar solo for.
Yeah.
the drummer doing.
Honestly, Edgar Mendez was the drummer at the church that we used to go to a long time ago.
He would do that.
He would do that stuff where he would like stick out. You would hear like the beating drum,
Yeah.
and he would start doing fills and everything. It's very good. He's super good drummer.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely there are some really good musicians, but like, I mean, I do remember in groups having to tell people to like
Tone it down.
tone it down. Like you guys are like going way too crazy.
Dang.
Like that's not the point.
Yeah, you're like losing the message. And also like outside of like the Christian circle, I generally listen to like good vocalists. Sam Smith,
Okay.
Josh Groban a little bit.
Like Michael Bublé.
Yeah, Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
Bublé.
I
One group that I like have gained a lot from is Boyce Avenue.
oh yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
They do covers.
They
right?
do, yeah, exactly. That's like me. like they do covers that are simple. Like there's no Boyce Avenue song that
Bruno
I've
Mars song.
heard.
Yeah, they did the Bruno Mars song with Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony? Was that them?
Were they on?
Oh, that's the
Those
one
are
with
girl
Camila
group.
Cabello. Yeah.
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 When they initially had won the X Factor?
I don't remember one of
Boyce
those.
Avenue.
Boyce Avenue, no. Fifth
Oh,
Harmony.
Fifth Harmony.
That makes sense.
They won the X Factor, I believe, and then they did like a cover with them because Boyce Avenue during that time on YouTube was like super big.
Mhm.
Like top
They
music
did.
creators.
Oh yeah. Did they do that? Song?
Yeah, I think they did. No, that was the Vamps. I forgot what song they did, but they did one with.
Was it
Fifth
when
Harmony.
When I Was Your Man. No?
I don't remember.
Andres?
But Boyce Avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, like Boyce Avenue, it's just something that I could like easily play on my own. Like, there's nothing that's super difficult, like either keyboard or guitar, and then sing along.
They do make it simple, like it's simple, and they focus a lot on the
Like,
vocals.
it's a really clean sound.
Yep.
Yes. That's important. You know, when you're that talented of vocalist, is to make sure your voice is what shines through like everything.
Are they Christian?
Boyce Avenue.
Yeah.
I know they've done a cover of a Christian song, but I don't know.
Do you delve into like acapella groups or?
I used to really love acapella, like Pentatonics. Obviously, is the huge one. Like I love the Pitch Perfect movies. Like I was really into it.
I know someone else who loves the Pitch Perfect movies.
Nice.
too.
Perfect.
It's like I actually like bought the first couple. It was I don't know, but yeah,
Did you ever do the Cup song?
like
At least once in your life?
yeah. I will say yes. Yes, I can't deny. Yeah.
How does it go? Someone giving a cup?
I don't remember it. Like I
Just spill everywhere.
I probably could if I thought
No,
about
it
it.
sounds.
You're
I
gonna
just don't
miss
know.
me when that's the song. Okay, yeah, I remember now. I don't think I've ever made it through the whole movie. Not that it's by any means like not good. I was just
Wow.
It's a great movie.
preoccupied.
When I'm gone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Any other influences? Maybe more musicianship, piano players, guitar
Classical
players.
musicians. I mean, the most obvious choice is Yo-Yo Ma for cello. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's like one of the most famous
I've had a yo-yo.
cellists.
I have a ma.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
And like he's just amazing. I know one of the things that I mean, see, I'm really into anime too, so I always like imagine things as if it was an anime. And like one of the things is like the cello that he owns is one that was like passed down from his teacher. Like I don't, yeah,
It like
Continue. Go on.
Yeah, keep going.
I don't remember exactly. All I know is like it's like a Stradivarius almost. Stradivarius.
Like a violin. So.
I mean, Stradivarius was a like orchestral string instrument creator. Like he built violins and cellos and stuff.
And those are like the most expensive ones now, right?
Yeah, and like supposedly they have like the best sound of all time.
No topping it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's partially BS.
How do you?
Wait.
Do you watch like Two Set Violin?
Is that a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
No.
How do you? You said you view things through an anime lens. What does that have to do with?
Oh, like
I think
basically like passing down the instrument from the master to Yo-Yo Ma, and then like yeah.
Plays the cello like.
It's like Chulu.
What would you say are your top 3 animes?
Top 3 animes. Oof. Wow. Dude, out of nowhere. Let me think.
I know how to put him
Dude,
on the
there's
Put
spot.
him on the spot for
Dragon Ball and Z.
Super.
I don't know.
Wasn't that a thing? Oh, sorry. I'll let you come up with the
Mull it
answers.
over.
But David was telling me that when people would interview for a job at their company, at his company, that they would, one of the questions was like, what do you think of Dragon Ball Super, right?
Yeah, like
Garage Door Medics?
no.
Good
At
for
my current company,
His current company.
there was a couple of coworkers who were really into like Dragon Ball and anime and stuff at the time. And like when I was interviewed, like they asked me like, what are your thoughts on the new like Dragon Ball
Super,
movie
yeah.
or whatever? And like, yeah, out of nowhere, I was like, yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. It's good.
It's kosher.
Yeah, like-
They're like, get out.
You didn't say it was the greatest movie of all time.
So what's your number 3? Maybe that's easier for you.
Okay. I know like at the top of my list, there will be like I enjoyed Code Geass and then Death Note, obviously. I was really into stuff like Dragon Ball growing up and like Yu Yu Hakusho. And then there were some sports animes I was really into.
Prince of Tennis.
Prince of Tennis was one of them. I mean, I did play a lot of tennis in high
Yes, you
school. So Prince of Tennis was cool. Yeah, Hajime no Ippo, which is a boxing anime.
Not ringing any
Watch
bells.
cartoons.
Hmm?
So we used to watch a lot of cartoons rather than anime.
Yeah, definitely.
But we were talking
SpongeBob.
about that one too.
That was my number
But
one.
it was
for
actually
sure.
an anime.
Yeah.
SpongeBob the anime. Patricio.
Avatar? Is that?
The last
Cartoon.
one
I used to watch
Cartoon.
Avatar
Cartoon.
also.
It's not an anime.
Yeah. It wasn't made by the Japanese.
It's not
That's
pure.
that's
not
like
pure.
the first. Yeah, it's not a pure anime, but it's been adopted. But it seems like just a good show. Yeah, I would watch both growing up. Definitely more cartoons. I'm not. Yeah, not big on. Like I'd be
Gundams?
lying if I'd say like, oh yeah, I watch anime. I've seen a couple. You know what I mean? When I know there are people who watch a lot of anime. Like a crazy amount. Like just like when I remember I had like the thing for Crunchyroll just to watch like Dragon Ball Super or stuff like that. And then you just scroll through and there's like literally hundreds of things. I'm like I've never heard of any of this. Crazy.
I mean, we also talked about like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh earlier.
Oh, I guess those are animes. Huh?
Yeah.
I used to be really
I
into
used
it.
to watch Pokemon like every morning.
You used to?
Yeah.
You used to?
Yeah.
Like the Indigo League?
The like original when it
Yes,
first
I think
came
that's
out.
Indigo League.
It is Indigo?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
What did you say,
one.
Oscar?
I guess I was into anime. This whole time I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I
Never.
I have no anime.
Can't relate.
It's like,
Can't
wait,
relate, dude.
Pokemon.
And then you're like, wait, I was into Yu-Gi-Oh.
We used to play the.
You said you're like growing up, your parents wouldn't let you.
they wouldn't let me. Well, my mom wouldn't let me watch Dragon Ball Z.
I understand.
She
that.
thought
Too
it was
violent?
Too violent.
Or
Then you're gonna start flying, dude. Calm down, random people.
How about Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball is the best.
He always says this.
I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z, just Dragon Ball.
Really?
Can't believe it.
Ever?
I mean, I've seen episodes, but not the whole thing.
Have you seen Super at all? So you wouldn't even watch Dragon Ball?
I did
I've
Dragon
only
Ball,
watched
just
Dragon
not
Ball.
Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm just kidding.
What did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah,
You were saying... And he cut you off.
I don't even
Can I
remember
ask
anymore.
Audra to elaborate?
I don't recall. Just Super's a good one.
It is.
Have you seen the new Dragon Ball episodes?
I have
Super?
not.
It's pretty good.
One of the things this guy would say is like, I mean, if you watch Dragon Ball growing up, now you watch it and we're like in our 20s, it's like, I feel like a kid again.
Like, so exciting.
keto.
My mom still doesn't let me do it.
You
Too
have,
violent.
you have parental locks on your phone
Your mom's kind of like, oh yeah, Oscar, estás viendo Dragon Ball, right?
instead of like drugs. It's like, don't watch Dragon Ball. Yeah, the Travis Scott meal we didn't buy, so
But that's supposed to be a thing?
we were
I
gonna all
put it
eat
in
it and
here
review
just
it.
to talk about it.
You haven't
but-
had it?
We were all
No,
gonna
have
eat
you?
it.
Is it just the quarter pounder with bacon and cheese?
That's what it says.
Because I've had that.
I mean, it says that quarter pounder bacon with cheese.
But I didn't go and say, give me the Travis Scott.
Well,
give me
I
the
remember
cactus-
he
give me the
didn't
It's supposed to be
have
like a
cactus.
meal, right?
Yeah, it's like, three
specific.
three things that he gets all the time.
You have
Like
to
A few,
get it with
weeks,
Sprite.
few weeks ago,
Fries with barbecue
did?
sauce.
I remember going to McDonald's and I got a quarter pounder. They gave me the Travis Scott burger.
By-
Instead of giving
like
me
by
the quarter-
accident?
Yeah. Well, I guess
I mean, was it good?
it just has lettuce.
And
Bacon.
Yeah, it's just a
Bacon.
break. It's
That's
not
it.
like
Crazy.
special.
is it is
But I
the drink
prefer not
chosen
having
for
lettuce.
you?
Huh?
Is the
Sprite.
drink?
It says Sprite, but you can
Sprite.
change it.
Well, you can,
Then that's
but
not
you're
the
not
Travis
supposed
Scott.
to.
With Cody.
But that's no longer the Travis Scott meal.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
And that's
can't
just a
actually
quarter
call it
pounder with
that.
lettuce meal.
Yeah.
This is what we were going to talk about. So the Travis Scott meal, I think it was from the 24th of September to October 4th. So it's still currently going on. It's over tomorrow. Should have got it today. It's a quarter pounder with lettuce and bacon, you said? French fries and a
Barbecue sauce.
barbecue sauce and a Sprite. So the reason that we were talking about it and why it's really interesting is other than like the burger itself, like I think that's gonna be a big thing. Like it happened on Postmates that the Migos, like you could order their Popeyes meal for like
Exclusively from Postmates?
Yeah.
Postmates and then
Interesting.
yeah. So I think that's gonna start being a thing where celebrities, artists, celebrities and artists are gonna team up with like places like McDonald's probably, but Travis Scott with McDonald's. Other than the fact that they did this meal, is they dropped 60 merch items. So on his website, I think he sold out like already 40 items. So there was a chicken McNugget body pillow. There was lunch boxes. There was cups and straws. There was shirts and shorts, and they're all like McDonald's branded, but with his brand as well, Cactus Jack. So we were saying how it's like pretty smart that like it made it feel like an event rather than just like go get this food. It's like, hey, get this food and you can buy the clothes. And even the McDonald's workers had like, I think custom like outfits.
I mean, I think like in the United States, there's an unhealthy like idolization of celebrities.
For sure.
Like where people are like, what are they having? What are they doing? Like, I want to participate. So seeing what Travis Scott or Migos or whatever other celebrity that you follow, like this is what they eat. Like people are automatically going to want to.
Yeah, I see. I mean, that's what they're banking on, right? I mean, I see that. I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, it's Travis Scott.
Wasn't he in
this man
featured like in the what is it called?
documentary?
No.
Fortnite?
Fortnite game.
Fortnite too. So he
Oh,
partners with like everyone. He had a
Nice.
concert. He's I think he knows what he's doing. He's very smart.
How do I reach these keys?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
All
Random.
outlets.
So none of you have had it except for Oscar, pretty much.
I had
Kind
it.
of.
On accident.
I had it.
I guess I had it, but
you
I didn't
ordered
have-
it.
You said, "Can I have the Travis Scott meal?"
I said, you know what I'm here for.
And the lady was just like,
You're like, Cactus Jack sent me.
And they were like, "Yeah, you leave, get out of line." I do you feel like it's only in the United States? I feel like I feel like it is worse in some other countries.
Like
I think
South
it is
Korea?
worse in some other countries. Yeah, like it's in particular Asian, like
South.
South Korea and
Korea,
Japan
yeah.
too. Like when I was younger, I also followed some J-pop. In particular, this like Japanese girl group called Morning Musume.
No, I only know my era.
Okay,
Of
well,
K-pop?
Yeah.
anyways, like I would like watch like game shows that they were in, or like watch clips of that, like, just because it was cute, it was fun.
Wow, you're just like me, David. I
Same
do
thing.
that too. Like if I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Like I want to know more because I will like to know more about the artists themselves
You
and
want
what
to see
they
like
do.
their appearances on shows. And
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah, I
like
do
that.
Like their
too.
personalities and
You're
like
"Oh, I
getting to
wonder what
know
kind of
them.
person is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we would be friends if we met in real life. That kind of thing.
And I'm just like so cute.
You were saying that in like that they groom some Korean stars for that.
I think I said that in the first show we ever did, but that I mean you probably know this too. In South Korea, like the big labels. I only know one because of the one group I followed, YG. They have like
YG 100.
Yeah. Oh, dude. What's your favorite song? One Time Coming. Why YG? One Time Coming. That was your hype song, dude.
Yeah.
Would he play that in the office?
What?
I never
You
played
knew
that
it.
in
I
the
would
office.
play it all the time.
I
because
never
he,
played it in the office, but you guys were like, "This is David's song." It just
how did that
randomly
happen? I don't
came
remember
out.
that.
We would play music all the time in the office, and then we'd be like, "Hey, David," and then we'd just be like,
But every time it come on, you'd be like,
No, anyways, but because they YG, the label, or other labels as well, they like get kids from a young age, and they're like, "All right, you're gonna be a celebrity," and like the people would wait for like, "Oh, what's gonna be the next big one?" They're like excited for it. Whereas here, I think in the United States, that would be seen as like, "Oh, like I
Grooming.
don't want this stuff down my throat, like this person," which happens, but not as what's the word? Like they don't make it as obvious that like we want like this person to do well.
Like keep it out of the public eye is a little bit.
No, I think what I mean is more. I'm just not wording it right. I'm trying to find the right way to phrase it. Where
in the United States, it's more organic.
they want it to look like it's more organic. Where in Korea they're okay with being like, hey, you guys have to like this this is the new main people. Like BTS, the moment that it became like they got some fame, they're like, all right, here, you guys, you guys are the main thing right now.
Yeah.
Where here it's kind of like, nah.
It's
I
like,
don't like
people are getting started on YouTube now. They're doing everything themselves.
Yeah.
People are staying in like Chance the Rapper. You know what I mean? Like was the
Independent?
very independent. Yeah, didn't sign with anybody, anything like that until now. And now he's finally like with Kanye West and stuff like that. But his biggest album was, or his first album, was very like, I'm gonna do everything myself because I enjoy it, I love it, I want to do it. Now he was like the biggest artist in the world, like what, 2 years ago, won Best New Artist, stuff like that. Did he lose?
So you're gonna be playing that YG song for us?
Is that your second one? One Time Coming and a Josh Groban song.
You raise me up.
One time.
So funny.
Well, I'm excited to hear it. It'll be fun.
Which one?
The Josh Groban one, not the YG one. Not that I don't like YG.
The young god.
Where are you leaning? Do you have options? Do you have like a short list?
For my other songs, yeah,
Second.
I have a couple ideas.
Why don't you list them?
Huh?
List them.
Yes.
So, one of them was "All of Me,"
Oh, for sure.
John Legend.
Hey.
Really like John Legend.
Hey.
Another one I was thinking of doing
You like John Legend?
was this mashup that I do. Like, it's my guilty pleasure mashup, which
I
is
want that one.
One
Mashups are always
Direction and Bruno Mars, which is
What 2 songs?
"What Makes You Beautiful" by One Direction and
Just the way you are.
Just the Way You Are, Bruno Mars.
Have you seen that?
The way you
Have you seen that mashup?
But I mean, they go together.
That was very. You
Yeah.
like knew the 2 songs.
Yeah,
already.
how did
Well,
you know?
that was like not
you
even.
seen it. You've seen it.
Is it a thing? I thought you said you made it.
Well, I mean, I don't. I haven't heard anyone else do it.
Yeah, he said he does it.
Oh,
All right, jeez. No, he said.
Yeah.
So it's not like a YouTube video that you
No, it's just that like I was like, oh, these two songs are in similar keys.
Okay.
They have similar paces.
That's creative.
It's like your face.
It's a creative thing.
I think
if you did do it-
mashups are like the least creative out of creative things.
No, it's very creative.
Maybe you could perform it a cappella for us.
No. So that's one of the songs. Next subject.
Shut down.
Randomly was thinking about doing something from Hamilton.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Huh?
Federico, like,
Just the first song, the Alexander Hamilton.
man, if Federico was here right now,
he would be going nuts over you.
he would.
If you
Fawning
do it,
over-
he would love you. The 10 down.
I'll keep it in mind.
You know, it'd be interesting.
10 down.
That I just thought of right now. It'd be interesting if you two did something together. Because you have, I would say, both your voices are very, very different. And that the types of songs that you prefer to sing or that you sing best are like completely different.
Yeah.
I really can't stay. Do that one.
What would be, so what would be something, I know it's tough, and obviously I'm putting you guys on the spot, but I mean, that's the point. What would be something that would suit both of you very well? Like, to
Well,
suit
you
one
just said
part.
John Legend. I mean, I know a few John Legend songs.
You like John Legend?
Yeah.
Where do we go?
He started also in church, right? Gospel singing?
This
Yeah.
ain't the
How much is
honeymoon. In fact, do you know that song? Ordinary People.
I know I've heard it.
Ordinary People?
Yeah. We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go.
No. I don't think, I can't say ever like, I mean, I know he's very famous, but I never listened to him.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's a good
Just
man.
talented musician, artist.
Where does he go? Who knows?
David, do you like music?
I love musicals. Yeah, musicals are awesome.
What about musical music?
Yeah,
I guess musical.
The real question is, have you seen La La Land?
I have seen La La Land.
What do you think of it?
I thought it was good. Some of the storyline
Don't you dare
was a little
say
bit draggy.
Just kidding.
But as far as like the music and the dancing and like the like artistry of the like the images that they produced,
The
like
story, the romanticism.
like I
me
thought it was
cry.
good.
Dun, 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 dun,
To be honest, one part of the movie it felt slow and I started dozing off. But
Which part?
I don't remember.
Did you
I
ever
was
say
asleep.
that again?
Good point. What other musicals do you like?
My favorite musicals right now, obviously Hamilton is at the top of the list. I really like the Newsies.
Is that the extra, read all about
Yeah.
it? That, those kind of things?
Yeah, it's based off of the Newsboys.
Kids, yeah.
And them like fighting against the system. So I like that. I enjoyed, what's it called again? The one that takes place in Baltimore.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera is good, but that's not it.
They play like 1500s. Imagine Baltimore in the 1500s. Then.
Have you ever seen
Hairspray. That's what I was
Hairspray.
talking about. Hairspray.
Have you ever
was-
seen the movie for Phantom of the Opera
Yeah, I have.
with Gerard Butler
Yeah.
and
Yeah, no,
the girl? I forgot her name, but she's
She plays Fiona in Shameless.
Cameron Diaz?
Oh,
the
what's-
show Shameless?
Yeah, Shameless in the movie.
her name.
Or show, yeah.
Follow-
What else is she in?
Her name's Emmy something.
Emmy Rossum?
Yes. Emmy Rossum.
Yes.
she's pretty.
She's pretty and she sings really well.
Really?
Yeah, she was the
Impressive.
other actress. Or she was the main actress.
Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera.
She was the
I recommend that movie. It's pretty good.
2000, wasn't it come out?
2000.
It was really early.
Something. 2000 something. I don't know. It's just weird to think of like, because I didn't know Gerard Butler because I watched it as a kid. Was the Phantom
300?
of the Opera. I watched 300 first, and then I'm like, huh? It's like Spartans, and then he's like singing.
Yeah. Hairspray.
Hairspray is good.
You ever-
The Book of Mormon. Awesome.
Did you see it?
I saw it live. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Well, I mean,
That's tough.
not the original cast, but the like the traveling U.S. traveling cast.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so no Matt Stone and Trey Parker were not there.
No.
Dang! Imagine seeing a show with
Yeah.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
But like, yeah, watching it at San Diego, whatever.
Sparkles Theater.
I don't remember what it's called.
It's the one in downtown, right?
Yeah,
Civic Theater.
Civic Theater probably. Sure.
Think so.
But anyways, yeah, that was awesome.
I saw the Nutcracker when I was here.
Like the ballet.
Yeah.
I
During
have not
Christmas.
seen ballet, but I have friends who went to see ballet, in particular the Nutcracker, and it was not what they pictured, and they were so bored.
It was pretty cool. I liked it. It
Interesting.
was nice. Dancing. Nutcrackery. Stuff like that.
Book of Mormon.
So you like... What do you listen to when you're like driving? Is it more Christian music? Is it like musicals? Because I will listen to like...
We have a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
I have like a list of, or a playlist of like 150 songs that are just completely random, just
They-
stuff I like. My phone.
149 of them?
Yeah.
that,
Oh, yeah.
that YG song?
On one playlist.
Yeah, it's just like all random stuff.
There you go.
Some from musicals, some from like, I think there is one J-pop
YG.
song. YG's there.
Why One Time Coming?
One
is
time
there.
coming.
That's funny. I think
Um,
we talked about that last time with Gustus, right? How he organizes his music on his phone. Was that with him?
No, that was with Andres Morales.
Andres
He
Morales.
said he does Discover every week.
Yeah,
Every
Discover.
day.
Spotify Discover. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Good way to
Pop, Alicia
find new
Keys,
music.
Childish Gambino.
Alicia Keys. You like Alicia Keys? I remember this.
I think.
Do you like John Mayer?
Yeah, John Mayer's good.
John Mayer guy? Bruh.
Shawn Mendes,
Gravity.
Sam Smith, Kendrick Lamar, Migos.
Dude.
Like it's just a really random.
It's random.
list.
Do you like country?
Country? Not really. I mean, there is the one country song I have on that list is it's from Sugarland.
Oh, Babe.
No,
Sugarland is the
Stuck
album?
Like Glue. No, Sugarland is the band.
Oh.
It's a country band. Yeah, it's Stuck Like Glue. Like,
How does it go?
Whoa,
That
stuck
one?
like glue. You and me, baby, we're stuck like glue.
Sounds
Country.
very country.
It is super country. Like there's a whole like clap and stuff. Like you can see people line dancing to it.
But on like a
on
Spotify
YouTube?
thing.
No. I mean like if you're listening to it, you can imagine it.
I thought you meant I could go somewhere on the
No.
internet and see.
No, I'm
people.
saying like that's a country song.
Yeah.
You can imagine line dancing.
I just asked because we were talking about country last time and how it's not that bad. I mean, depends.
It's
but
not that.
I say because one of the main things when you ask someone, a lot of people at least when you're like,
Anything but country.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody knows.
exact phrase. But just as I listen to it more, I'm like, it's pretty good. Just depends on the artist, like anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I do have another like country pop song. What's the Georgia Line one?
Is that the one with
Meant to be,
Nelly?
it'll be.
Maybe you were meant to be.
Yeah.
Do you like country?
You like country?
You like country artists?
Well, that's
Maybe
like
we'll have a
mainstream country pop.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
pop.
I'm hoping one day we'll feature a country artist, the Home Concert Channel. If you're a country artist, feel free to hit us up.
Educate
know.
us why we're wrong and everyone else is wrong.
I thought we liked country
Oh yeah, you're right. I do. I like it. I grew up.
in the country of the United States of America.
But anyways, you should start like a Dungeons and Dragons Jiu-Jitsu musical.
Country.
musical.
Musical.
Dungeons and Dragons Jiu-Jitsu music.
Why not combine all things together?